Oh, it's been a few days since we said bye to the other. Still no news about Rarer, though. Where could he have slunk? If only he was gone for good. But with all the trouble he's...
Hello! You must be the traveler. Mr. Flint has been looking for you. Unfortunately, there's been a serious...
A wild hunt? Oh, uh-oh. We better... Come on, let's go!
I can barely sense any Kuvaki at all. This whole area feels like a soulless...
Looks like his appetite truly is insatiable. As if the power of that energy cannon wasn't enough.
He's not seriously still getting stronger? What's his endgame here?
Ah, everyone's here already.
We've all been on high alert since we split up a few days back, expecting Rarir to... But it's like he just vanished into thin air. No one has seen him nor found any trace of his That is, until this morning, when a ratnik found signs of wild hunt activity while out here on patrol.
And we're sure that Rarir...
Who else? He's the only one who could pull off a stunt like this.
Kuvaki loss has reached critical levels. Reikir of Solnari set to maximum threat level. Warning, unless de-escalation measures are taken soon, he will pose a threat.
Traveler, there wasn't a shred of sanity left. Nothing but madness and rage.
Yeah, didn't he shout out a bunch of names? Then he started raving about how nothing in this... Oh, Paimon gets chills just thinking about it. Oh, but the thought that he's...
Last time we fought, we were already at a disadvantage. If he has such
Yeah, if I were him and I wanted more Kuvaki, I'd just take it by force. No point... Unless something went wrong. His whole resurrection thing...
The other thing is, how does someone who's completely lost their...
Beats me.
According to certain medical studies, insanity does not always entail a complete loss of rationality.
That actually sounds about right. He was ranting away to himself the whole time.
There are many unanswered questions here. He could be right under our... Besides his name and title, we know little about...
Exactly. And we wouldn't even know where to begin looking. I'd be willing to bet that even if we gathered together every scrap of intel in Nodcry, we still wouldn't find more than...
So, if we do nothing, he'll just keep getting stronger. But last time we had Marionette and her big robo-buddy to help us. Oh, Paimon's head hurts just thinking about it.
Well, I do have a little hunch about his next move. Given that he had somewhere like the Eye of Krati, or the Pillar of Embla. One thing's for sure.
A perfectly reasonable hypothesis. However, it is worth noting that these two locations...
I agree, we should split up. Right now, Rarir's goal seems...
Wait, why Hisi Island?
If I recall correctly, your largest goddess statue was carved from Kuvaki-rich ore, was it not?
That's right. Yes, it could well be a
Splitting up's always gonna be risky. But I guess we don't have much choice, right? We're in a race against time here.
And if we do run into Rarir?
That's when you follow the third rule of treasure hunting. Run like the wind. I don't know. Did I? Anyway, whatever. In this situation...
Agreed. If anyone finds so much as a trace of Rerir, do not pursue him. Get out of...
All right, we'd better get moving. Come on, Ineffa, let's go.
Any leads?
Nope. Diddly squat. No clues to where he might... It feels like we're sitting on a powder keg that could go off at any second. Oh, I hate this...
So, you guys didn't find anything?
Not loving the word either. How about...
I questioned a few Ratniki and eventually narrowed my investigation down to one suspect, almost as if he knew someone was on to him. Either that, or he's just
He's been biding his time for a while now. The question...
No idea. Since regaining his body, he seems to have lost all interest in the fragment.
All we can do now is hope that Ino and Ineffa turn up some leads. Wait, he's actually here? I didn't mean it!
No, it's coming from... Silver Moon Hall! The Lady Kutar might be in danger!
Let's get over there, quick! Why is he attacking the damselette? What's going on?
No time for questions. Stop him!
This is insane.
Yehuda, get Kutar out of here!
On it.
Look where your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Thalindus, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
Barely made it out of there alive. What's that guy's deal? how'd he get so crazy strong?
He's a threat to this entire nation. I doubt his strength could even be measured by conventional standards.
I have a question. When me and Anefa showed up, we saw him chasing after this lady like he wanted her dead.
Well, we weren't there for the whole thing either. They were already duking it out.
Yeah, we didn't see how it all started. It all escalated so quickly.
Kutar, can you shed any light on the situation?
Kutar. Cross-checking database. I see.
Wait, she's the moon goddess? Oh, no.
There are many reasons why people might worship the moon. And just as many why they might despise. I've never met that person before. But there was no mistake why he holds me in such contempt. I cannot say.
Kutar.
There are many potential motives. For instance, you help the traveler escape his grasp. It is also possible that he covets the Kuvaki inside you and seeks to take it for his own. But right now, devising a counter-strategy should be our #1 priority. The likelihood of this location being discovered is—
A counter-strategy? But we don't stand a chance against an enemy like this. Surely our only option is to run. He's not gonna chase us to the end of the world, right? So no, I can't say that. Come on, Yehoda. This is serious stuff.
Running is our only option.
Huh?
You seem surprised. But what other choice do we have? We are—
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's not too late. I can distract him, so you have plenty of time to make your escape.
Wait, what? You're gonna act as bait?
Doesn't that make sense? I'm the one he's after. There's no need for you to risk your necks on my— A coyote doesn't stop for bypassers while it's howling. What is it, Loma? The Frost Moon Scions have already grown accustomed to life without their goddess. My present—
We can't just roll over and let him get away with this. That's not—
Yeah. We can't just call it quit. Besides, she'd pretty much saved my life back there. If I just ditched her now, I'd never forgive myself.
We can't overlook that you have saved our lives multiple times now. To talk of returning the faith—
Rira's true objective remains unclear. Even if we were to sacrifice Miss Kutar, there's no guarantee he would stop.
But—
Kutar, I know why you left the Frost Moon Scions so long ago. It was they would make self-centered wishes, force you to accept meaningless offerings in return, and then expect you to perform. If it were me, I might have walked away too. But I believe that time can change everything. After much reflection, I've realized that this was never about whether any relationship based on need is purely transactional. You were born here, and now you've returned. Who knows?
Thank you, Lauma. But my power is on the wane. I'm afraid I will be of little— Very well then. I'll do—
Both times you saved us, we were transported across great distances in an instant. Is that one of your powers?
It is, but I find it very draining. I barely managed to pull it off just now, and it will be rejected by the world. My power is dwindling. Like a lake, cut—
What do you mean, rejected by the world?
The 3 moons belonged to the ancient bygone era in which they came into being. From the moment I was born, the world itself has been steadily— The 3 moons are not one and the same. As the goddess of the Frost Moon, I cannot wield the powers of the other, yet moonlight has a way of blending together. Each can reflect the other's glow. So when our fingers touched, I would— But this method of recovery is painfully slow.
It's the Wild Hunt! Even faster than we expected. We'll have to finish this conversation later.
See how those Wild Hunt creatures are running away from us. They're likely just a scouting party. Which means—
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get the heck out of here!
Defensive mode engaged. Preparing for dust-up.
Rush attack! Oh, they just keep coming! This is driving me nuts!
Rear's closing in on us. We need to pick up the pace.
There's too many of them! And this time, we can't fall back on Kutar's help to escape. This goes on much longer.
Initiated. Ultimatum protocol.
Ding dong, water bomb!
For the everlasting forest.
Observe. To dust. Be silent. To dust. Close your eyes. Feel the dark. Be silent. To dust.
Preparing for dust-up. Defensive mode
With one heart, repel. You poor lost.
The long sleep beckons. Observe. Be silent. Fear the dark. Observe. To dust. Night falls. Be silent. Do you fear the dark?
Teamwork is...
What's the matter? Bit off more than you could chew?
Who are you?
Uncle Varka! You're back from Amsvartnir?
Oh, you're Varka? Grand Master of the Knights of Favoni?
We could save the intros for later. Right now, let's get you all out of this hellhole. Follow me. I know somewhere you'll be...
Oh, is that where I think it is?
That's the one. Come on, move! There's no...
Wow! Where are we? This is so well hidden.
Well, that goes without saying. This is the Knights of Favonius' meeting place in Nodcry, and a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network, aka the Black Market of Intel. No matter what faction you're with, it's the place to buy and sell information. Their headquarters are in as an expeditionary force on foreign soil. Working with them has offered us the most effective way of getting our hands on reliable local intel. Anyway, where were we? Folks from Nodcry should be pretty familiar with me by now. But I believe this is the first time we've met. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Varka, Knight of Boreas, and Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius.
We've heard all about you. This meeting's been a... You look way younger than Paimon expected. But you...
Well, I'm no spring chicken. Just not showing my age yet. Definitely feeling some of that back pain today, though. Rushed back from Amsvartnir without a wink of sleep, only to get right into another fight with that freshly revived maniac.
Another? You mean you fought?
Yep. He wasn't nearly as strong back then, but he was still a formidable foe. I brought some of the knights along to give him a little surprise, but my squad took heavy injuries and I barely made it out alive myself. We knew it might have been our last chance, so we staked everything on it. But still, it wasn't enough to stop him. I tried tracking him down afterwards, but he didn't leave a trace. Even in his unhinged mental state, he's as cautious as any trained operative. So, I decided to come find you. And as luck would have it, turned up to find you being ambushed by the Wild Hunt.
Is that why he's been frantically absorbing Kuvaki these past few days?
Maybe I'm part of the equation, but even if I weren't, I'm sure he'd still be gathering power. He's clearly working up towards something.
Note to self. Uncle Varga's strength rating officially up.
Guess it's my turn to ask questions now. So, what exactly has been happening in Nodcry? Why has the Wild Hunt returned in?
That's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick.
Wow, I had no idea so much had happened. Sounds like you guys have really been through it. So, the Kutar is actually a Fatui Harbinger. And all this Wild Hunt activity in Nodcry is the work of the Raker of Solnari, one of the 5 sinners. That's a lot to take in. Need some time to wrap my head around it all.
I'm truly sorry, Miss. You stood with us against the Wild Hunt, and did everything you could to stop it from escalating into a full-blown catastrophe.
You've got nothing to apologize for, Miss Moonchanter. You can plan 100 steps ahead and still slip up. That's just life. No one knows what tomorrow holds. You can't predict which way the wind will blow next. And, to be perfectly honest, I can't say I'm surprised. For all the times we've defeated the Wild Hunt in the past, we've never been able to completely wipe it out. But now that a new variable has come into play, fate may well take a different...
A new variable? You mean...
Who else? And in a strange way, I think his resurgence might not be an entirely bad thing. The Wild Hunt is like... That said, while I know I was explaining everything just now, some of the points that Mr. Flynn said...
You mean about our mystery ally?
That's right. From what you've said, not only did they lead you straight to some key files, I don't know who or what could pull something like that off. Heck, even Miss Columbina...
I hadn't heard the story about those files. Would you mind repeating their titles for me?
Wild Hunt Phenomena Log, a Nodcryan Ratnik's Field Journal, and Kuvaki Survey Log.
Oh. No.
Another dead end. Guess all we can do now is hope that our mystery ally keeps showing up. Still, it's safest to assume they won't be intervening again. From here on out, we'll have to... Your intel also explains something else I've been wondering about. The reason I led my team to Ams, but once we looked into it, it turned out to be a red herring. I don't know who was behind. I doubt it's by chance that he happened to make his comeback while my attention was diverted. And from everything you told me, but is it even possible that he orchestrated all of this by himself? The Moon Maiden and the Raker of Solnari, Nodcry of all places. The way everything is unfolding, it can't be a coincidence.
So, what do we do now? Got any ideas?
Right now, we've got at least 3 things to consider. Let's go through them. First, we need to figure out how to take down Rerir. If we can't beat him in a straight-up fight, the rest won't even matter. To my knowledge, the bulk of Nodcry's fighting force is already gathered here. But even with everyone united, we're still no match for Rerir in his current state, let alone with his power still...
What if there was a way to tap into a new power of our own?
How so?
Have you thought of something, Columbina?
3 moons once watched over this world. The Eternal Moon was the largest. They say that back then, the 3 moon goddesses wielded immense power. I now bear the Frost Moon's power, and the Eternal Moon's marrow resides within the travel.
Hold on. Are you suggesting...
The iridescent moon.
That's right. If we can find the iridescent moon's marrow, I will be able to...
The 3 moons are said to stir the tides and illuminate all things. Perhaps...
According to my analysis, the solution is feasible. However, it is subject to one major condition.
I know a way, but... We will need to visit the Fatui's experiment...
The Experimental Design Bureau?
Yes. I must speak with Sandrone.
It's a long way from here to the Experimental Design Bureau. There's a high chance you'll be spotted. You shouldn't go alone.
Then that's settled. Next up, our second priority. As you saw for yourselves, when he was still in his Wild Hunt form, everything he did was for the sake of recovering his body and resurrecting himself. His first act since then, people's obsessions often reveal their greatest vulnerabilities. There must be a reason why he despises the moon so deeply. The Wild Hunt has plagued Nodcry for centuries now. If we want to stop it for good, we have to get to the...
It's true. We still know very little of... If Kuthar hadn't given us that lead, we wouldn't even know his name.
But where would we even start? I doubt even the Intel Queen of Nodcry has a clue, and she has info coming out of her ears.
Oh? That's a rather hasty conclusion for someone who's so painstakingly...
Ah, she heard me.
Boss! What are you doing here?
I'm now asking myself the same question. I received a letter from a humble knight of Favonius, requesting a meeting to discuss a major business...
Details. Miss Neff, since his failed ambush, I've been racking my brains trying to come up with a plan to fight Rerir. Given the severity of the situation, I think it's fair to say that we can't do this without the Curatorium. But I knew it'd be a tough job to win you over. So, I took the liberty of...
Wait a sec. How did you even hear about this? Didn't you say this is meant to be the Knights of Favonius' meeting spot? And a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network? And...
You really think he could have gotten settled in Nodcry without my help? Besides, I'm the one running this gig. Of course...
Allow me to introduce the current head of the Northern Intelligence Network. If it's intel you're after, she's your woman.
Please spare me the flattery. Let's cut to the chase. Seems like you've... Well, this certainly qualifies as an unforeseen crisis. On behalf...
So you're just going to sit this one out?
Why should I get involved? What could...
What if we told you, we can't do this without you?
Oh? Then I'd say, you'd better make it worth my while.
I can't put a price on something like this. It's just not in my nature. But then again, you and I have always... If you insist on compensation, I will pay you. Consider this a formal commission.
You just don't give up, do you? Too bad. I know you well enough to know you can't afford my prices. The riskier the job, the more it'll cost. And a Moonchanter's stipend isn't exactly generous. Unless you're planning to start passing the Dani...
Boss, just a thought. If they come up short, maybe things got really dangerous during the fight with Rerir. If this girl hadn't saved me, I'd be ley line fodder by... If there's any way we can make this work...
This is why I'm always telling you never accept favors. You have to be careful who you get involved with, or you invite all kinds of misfortune. Very well. Yehoda, I will help. Flynn's. That fragment that Rerir was after.
Of course.
Let me borrow it. I need it to follow up on some leads.
Wait, you actually have...
Shh. This is Tom.
I get it. We all have things we'd rather keep to ourselves. Plus, I know... And that brings me to the third and final item. We need to find a way to distract... I'm in for this part, no matter what. Anyone coming with?
Count me in too.
Come off it, you two. Quit playing heroes. I'm way ahead of you here. And Nefa did a scan of the Moon Goddess's Kuvaki signature, and we're gonna use it to... Once they're ready, we'll deploy the decoys across Nodcry. So as long as the rest of you keep moving, he won't...
I like it. Genius idea.
No biggie.
All right then. We'll split into 3 teams. Once your team has finished their mission, return here and wait...
Lady Damselette. Wait. And you two? What are you doing at— We've been doing our best to mind our own business lately. But if you're just gonna waltz up here like this, you're seriously pressing your luck.
Huh. You really think that?
We're not looking for any trouble. I just want to see—
Do I need to remind you that you're still a wanted fugitive for deserting us? Out of consideration for our former ties and the crisis we're all up against, we'll let you leave in one piece.
Let them in.
But—
Are you going to make me repeat that?
No, my lady.
Sandrone seems to be in a good mood. Must be maintenance day.
So tell me, to what do I owe the honor this time? Actually, before you answer that, just so we're clear, we're not colleagues.
I promise it's nothing big.
It seems like you've gotten the wrong idea here. The only reason I let you in was because I was bored. It seemed like a way to kill some time. Whatever miscalculations I may or may not have made in the past, I haven't lost the plot enough.
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
What?
Huh? You mean the knave?
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino. Is she in Nodcry?
No, she's not. Once the work on this facility was completed, she went back with the Rooster and Regrator. The only ones in Nodcry are me and... What is it you need to speak to her about any—
Rerir is hunting me. If I'm going to face him, I must first retrieve the lost moon. Is that a no, then?
As if I need reminding. I was this close to settling things with him before someone decided—
Have you held any tea parties lately?
Tea parties? Yeah, obviously. You don't seriously think we'd pack it all in just because you aren't here. If anything, they've been more eventful than ever. Just me, Arlecchino, and a bunch of insolent and
I bet you served them the worst tea you have. Just like you used to do to me when I upset you.
Who cares about how good the tea is when there's no one around to drink it? I keep losing people. First Rosaline, now you. I'm running out of people who can make me laugh. Honestly, what could be more ridiculous than the multi-centenarian goddess, who's only ever had the plain herbal tea she received as offerings?
You'd always brew a different type of tea for me each time. Was it really just a...
Well, duh. Why else? Watching you squirm was practically my only form of entertainment. Oh, yeah. And Capitano sometimes used to bring Tartaglia around, too. But I guess we won't be seeing him again. Well, I guess we are overdue for a get-together. Polonia, have Febronia pass a message to Arlecchino for me. It's time for tea. Will suffice.
Pass along a message for me, too, if you would. My body cannot contain the marrow of 2 moons, so I'll be leaving one of them in her...
Excuse me? Who said you were on the guest list? If my tea meant that much to you, maybe quitting the Fatui wasn't your brightest. Back when you were under the Tsaritsa's protection, no one would have dared come at you so openly.
But that protection didn't come for free. In fact, I paid dearly for it. At the end of the day, it was just another I just got tired, that's all. I never wanted any part in their grand ambitions. It brings back memories from the old days, when I was still worshipped as the moon goddess. Centuries on, it may be a different...
I figured you'd leave eventually. You didn't have as much of a reason to stay as I do. The Tsaritsa gave you shelter and protection, but that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Meanwhile, the Fatui demanded everything from you in return, until it was more than you could bear. I get why you left. And frankly, I have no interest in dragging you back, but if you keep hanging around with this riffraff, the next time we cross paths, we might be enemies.
Guess that's our...
That might be your plan, but it sounds...
Huh? What
Listen.
My lady, it's the Wild Hunt. A horde of monsters is headed straight for the facility.
Another uninvited guest trying to crash my tea party. Clear the area. I'll handle this.
Wait, what? You want us to leave you here by yourself?
You'll be lucky to make it out of this alive. Go on, get out of here. You may have stopped Polonia from crushing him last time, but I've made sure that won't happen again. The entire Experimental Design Bureau is... Stay and watch if you want, but it'll be at your own risk. You're not flagged as friendlies in the weapons system. Don't tell me what to do! Look, if you're leaving, make it quick. Or you'll just get him... Stare all you want, Columbina. You're not getting another invitation to my tea party.
I know. But thank you.
This is exactly why you shouldn't hang around with those people. All their melodrama... Come on then, Mr. Ray here. Let's pick up where we left off. It's your Wild Hunt monstrosities versus my beautiful creations. Let's see.
Polonia! Get him!
I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for...
She's not here. Where did she go?
Hey! Over here, you big...
Curse it. Moon. Go. Keep searching. She...
So this is your method for investigating Rarir's past? It almost...
Good deduction. But it's quite a different affair from what you're used to with the Frost Moon Scion.
Whoa! First time I've ever been in here. Boss always said it was off limit. Oh, I guess this must be Sumero decor? That's where Boss is from. And that...
I'm not sure exactly what you've got planned, but it looks like you're all set.
Whenever we wish. But for some reason, I've got a feeling this isn't going to end well. I've never faced Rarir myself, but from what you've told me, his power is beyond anything I could imagine. I, on the other hand, am just an ordinary businesswoman. Our paths should never have crossed, yet here I am,
If you ask me, you're about as far from ordinary as it gets.
Once I take a job, there's no backing out. And also how to make sure I come out of this alive if things spiral. Death is the one thing we can take for granted. It is the great equal.
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death. It's bad luck.
For once, I agree with you. When you're up against a foe like Rarir, is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been saving for a rainy day.
Fine who?
That shady merchant who sold you an overpriced treasure compass the other day.
Come on, boss. You're pulling my leg again. In what way is she Anyway, I know who you're talking about. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Quit dragging me! I genuinely can't run!
Hey, aren't...
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee. See, look how easygoing she is. After that rude awakening, she could have come...
Dori Sangama Bay? I never would have pictured you two...
If you want to make it big and not cry, it's all about connections. Lady Nefer just so happens to have a lot of... It was back when I first arrived in Not Cry. My trusty assistant, the genie in my lamp. And wouldn't you know it, that's when I suddenly find myself in a life-or-death situation. I've been giving her a 30% discount off all of my goods ever since. Now, plus any other friends you send my way will enjoy 10% off. What can I say? The great Lord Sangama Bay is nothing, if not. So, let me guess. You've run into some trouble. I've got everything you could possibly need, and the more...
You guessed correctly. What have you got in the way of...
The one type of gear I've never been short on. What are you looking for? A jetpack fresh from the Academia's labs? An ancient suit of armor? At the very least, I need to know what kind of opponent you're dealing with here. If even you're worried about staying alive, it must be pretty...
What if I told you it's someone with the power to bring a nation to its knees?
Is that so? Then we really are talking top-shelf treasures.
Your supplier?
A powerful woman, make no mistake. I can't reveal her identity, but luckily for you, I hear she's planning to visit Notcry in the near... If you're willing to wait, I can ask her when she's here. Can't say exactly how long that'll be, though.
Then, let me put it another way. What would you do if you encountered an enemy like that?
Of course not! I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No, no! This is for my personal use only!
Let's just say I'm borrowing it, all right? Just for insurance purposes. You'll get it back later. Favors are the worst kind of debt to owe, and now you've got a chance to repay.
Fine. You can borrow it for 5 days. No, make that 3. And for every extra hour after that, I'm charging you 1,000,000 mora. Deal?
Deal.
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
That will be all. Take care now.
See you later! You're my favorite
Excellent. Everything is well and truly ready. The ceremony can now be... After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. So remember, don't be frightened. Now then, let us peer into the Raker of Solnari's past. I made it. I don't recognize this style of architecture. Must be simple furnishings, table and chair. Looks like the fearsome Raker of Solnari came from surprisingly humble unless this passed for luxury in Conria. Anyway, I'll keep
Hi, Rivier. Since you're working extra hours tonight, I thought I'd keep myself. I'll test it out, and if it's as good as everyone. P.S. New stash from the Universitas Magistrorum. I brought some goodies home. A few teacups and a pin.
They didn't sign their name, but they must have been close.
I went over to Joseph's for drinks today. They have a fine collection. Joseph asked why I came alone, but I didn't really have an answer. He then went on. But if he invites me again, chances are...
The Lindis. That's the same name...
Grain imports keep falling. If things don't pick up, we'll soon be... Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that new type of mushroom everyone's been into lately. Didn't it start out as a lab grow? I don't care if it's an impressive feat of alchemy. That just isn't the kind of...
Grain has to be imported, and they're eating a diet of mostly meat and mushrooms. That would explain why they use so much stone in their buildings. They even use alchemically modified strains for food.
I've just about saved up enough now. Time to buy it?
Making a big purchase. I wonder what... He really is a professional. No wonder he's so good at covering. Despite what he's become, it seems like he's retained certain habits. Did Rary rip it out himself?
Before I met you, I was convinced that my heart was the burial place of a fallen moon. A wither. It was you. who helped me see that my heart...
This is just trivial sentimentality from the burial place of a fa-
Reverie, over here.
Dane! Oh, and, Vediflin?
Hello there, Reverie. You need not address me so formally outside of court. He doesn't get that much free time, so I invited him over for a drink. Even the court prophet deserves a break every now and then.
Well...
So, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it, we don't need an excuse to have...
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to pop?
Who'd have thought the great Twilight Sword was an even...
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
Yeah. If you told me that a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed...
So, are you planning to come clean about your job then? I'm guessing you still have...
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need to pick the right time and place. To be honest...
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. For all you know, she could be thrilled. I bet she'll be a member of the King's Guard. Quite the cover story.
Of course he does. Anyway, enough about me. How have you been?
Me? Same old, same old. Nothing much to... Huh? What's up, Fed?
It's nothing.
Vediflin, Dainslift's elder brother. And yet, despite the gulf between us, he seems to have something to say about... Does he even know me? Does he see me as a friend of his... Why did he react so strongly? Was it really to do with what we were...
Brown, curly hair and brooding blue eyes. Perfectly normal. No different from anyone else. As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's...
Felindis? You're back early?
Our equipment's being serviced today, so I got off earlier than usual. Aw, why the long face? Is something the matter?
Went for a drink with Dane and the others after work.
Isn't that a good thing?
Vediflin showed up today, too. You know.
Ah, Mr. Vediflin. Yes, I've heard of him. They say that everything he says ends up coming true.
He overheard Dainslift mention that I'd recently proposed, and seemed to have an issue with it.
So, you're worried? You could be such a child. We're nobodies. Why would the visionary be concerned about us? I'm sure someone in his position has much bigger... You worry too much, Reverie. We've been together for ages now, and everything's been going so well.
So, you do remember?
Like I said, I need some time to decide. You can't just rush into things like this. We may be...
All right. Take your time. Just don't keep... Nobody's. Sounds about right. In the eyes, can someone whose gaze is so fixed on a far-flung future even see the present clearly? Besides, the dynasty's fate rests. Meanwhile, every idea they come up with and every decision they make, it affects everything. These days, the king is lost. The opposition tried to speak out, but nothing came of it. And I'm under no... A man can have 1,000 reasons to carry a sword, but there are few good excuses to use it. Yet the king has never... What becomes of someone who kills on another's behalf? Felindis? It's nothing. You were right. Fate has never smiled upon nobodies like us. There's no reason we can't keep living happily together. Cherishing the—
See? You just need to stay positive, Revere. I can feel your warmth, your breath. You're right there, right by my side. Just seeing you makes me happy in a way I can't explain. And that's something that no one could ever take away from me. So...
You're right, Thelindis.
That's better. Getting caught up about things like this will only ruin our evening. Speaking of which...
You go ahead. I just have a few things to take care of, then I'll come join you.
Even busier than the big shots, huh? Fine, I'll go get started. But don't be late. If you keep me waiting too...
Relax. Oh, seriously, though, you drive a hard bargain. You're really gonna leave my—
Well, that goes without saying. I already told everyone I'd be... Besides, they're two completely different things. Let's take it one...
All right. White outfitted.
It seems like Rerir was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence services by giving the impression that he clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancé to know about his other life. Then again, that's hardly surprising. People in the intelligence trade rarely do. Who'd have thought we were in the same line of work? Let's dig a little deeper.
Our last operation was a resounding success. And all thanks to you, Rehir of Solnari.
After all these years since the dynasty's fall, so many of them.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was destiny that the Crimson Moon should be overcome by the eclipse. Conria has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be those who refuse.
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was worthy of remembrance. And that's exactly why many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day. As it happens...
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular.
Your concerns are not unfounded. They've taken out many of our colleagues these past few years. Take care, Rehir of Solnari.
Thanks, Thorkel. Thelindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But that's exactly why I can't tell you everything. The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, there were the... Could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because of some... I have to get a clear answer from him. No matter what happens...
Rerir seems to be very concerned by Vedalfnir and Dainsleif, the Visionary and Twilight. I've investigated this whole area now. There doesn't seem... Should I try somewhere else? Wait a second. What?
So, he's late after all. Just you wait, Rerir.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am? Could I...
Oh, sure. Pick me out a...
Thank you. But I'm afraid none of them are as pretty as you.
For someone so young, you sure have a way with words.
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not
lying.
May we have a word in private?
Who are you? And what do you want?
It doesn't matter who I am. Too many of our kind have fallen lately, so I decided to take... Not long ago, the Rehir of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds.
We suffered
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me this. And I don't want to get involved.
Wait. Hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rarier, and he claims to be one of the King's guards.
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But sure.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Simple. It's because...
How strange. Rarier was nowhere to be seen in that memory. And clearly, Rarier couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even there. Why would her memories appear in his fragment? The ceremony won't last much longer. I think it's time.
So that was your doing? Did you just pull us inside Rarier?
Any more questions, and I'll have to...
I had no idea you could do that, boss! Seriously, I gotta admit, though, I'm itching to see what happens next.
I'm just as curious as you are. But the ceremony only allows for limited time inside. Luckily, we managed to learn quite a lot.
So far, so good. I just hope the others are doing okay, especially the group with the Traveler. Their mission is a risky...
If you're worried about them, go see how they're doing.
If I know boss, she's gonna need some time to write up all the details and...
Oh, they've been prowling around for nearly 2 days now. Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but them constantly sweeping the area, our way out is completely blocked. Oh, that's never gonna work. If they spot us, they'll run straight back to Rarier. And once he knows we're here, it won't be long before he's... Quick, hide! We almost got spotted! Phew! That was a close call. Watch out! He's coming this way! Keep going. We're nearly there. This is the final hurdle. Oh, there's no end to these things.
Fire.
Fire? Wait, what's that smell? Oh no, there's a fire!
Zandrone was right. You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way. Word has it that you did something for the freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings.
It's been a while.
Stupid right here of stupid Solnari. Ugh, whatever. I've got all the data I need. He sure doesn't pull his punches.
Excuse me, do you need—
You can do me a favor by staying out of my way. Can't you see I'm Wait a minute. I recognize—
Hello, Miss Sandrone. Father sent us over to help.
Huh. How considerate of her. Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away. Nearly every machine that Catgirl touches ends up going haywire. Go put her on cleaning duty or something.
Then let's start downstairs. Fremine, we'll leave this place—
You've got it.
Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some, you'll have to make it yourselves.
It's a relief to see you all made it back in one piece.
Huh? Feels like there's quite a few people missing. Where's Flint's and the others?
I returned ahead of them. Flint is helping Aino and Anefa to set up the decoys and buy us some time. As for Miss Nefer...
Boss is still wrapping things up on her end. She sent us back to fill you all in on the—
I see. Then let's get right into it. But first, who do we have here?
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime Tea Party companion of Columbina's. You may call me Arlecchino.
Surely it can't be.
Those eyes. Oh, where have I seen them before? Wait, of course.
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty—
You're well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in Nodcry, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya.
Oh, the feeling's mutual. Sounds like you know all about who I—
A Fatui Harbinger.
The atmosphere in here just got really tense. Guess we can't just start trusting Fatui Harbingers.
I must admit, though, I'm a little curious. Seeing as the moon goddess no longer belongs to the Fatui, what makes you so willing to put—
Nor does Nodcry belong to Mondstadt, Mr. Varka. Yet still, you're fighting for it all the same. Things don't always have to have a tangible payoff. Sometimes, stopping things from spiraling out of— Of course, I can't say there's nothing in it for me at all. But that's between Columbina and myself.
Forgive me. I don't mean to doubt you. It's just that the Fatui really— We have our own way of doing things here in Nodcry. But ever since they arrived, the Fatui have—
I know there's been a lot of bad blood between us in the past. I've done my utmost to avoid friction whenever I could. But sometimes fundamental conflicts of interest simply can't be settled. That's why I'm here solely in a personal capacity. This has nothing to— As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely skips over the details. Looks like she doesn't want to give away too many secrets, but she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. Guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the
Well, since Miss Arlecchino sounds confident in her ability to handle that, we'll proceed to the next topic.
All right, listen up, everyone. First, we now know that Rerir was originally a Conrian secret agent whose primary mission was to hunt...
The dregs of the Crimson Moon.
In the memories, there was a lot of talk about the Crimson Moon and Eclipse, and a whole bunch of other stuff from the time of...
To my knowledge, those were the names of 2 different Conrian dynasties. Long, long ago, it is said that the people of Conria worshipped the Crimson Moon, drawing a mysterious... But one day, a coup saw the Crimson Moon eclipsed, hence the name of the new dynasty that replaced it, and how it became the new emblem of Conria.
Still, long after the Crimson Moon dynasty had fallen, the last ruler of the Eclipse dynasty, the Vinster King, still coveted the secrets it left behind. So, he sent the Rehir of Solnar. In those days, Rerir showed no signs of madness. In fact, he was as normal. What's the matter?
Pitifully, granddaughter. Flinders.
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé?
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but...
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contains some of Thelindis' memories. Though...
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Thelindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me, though, were these pure-blood Conrians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian... Oh yeah, just like how it was with the...
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance...
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. That merchant who Nefer knows, Dori Sangama Bay. Maybe we could hide...
All right, then. Let's keep working in our separate teams. Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino will go look for the iridescent... As for the others...
On the way over here, I noticed that the Wild Hunt monsters had grown even... At this rate, the people living here will be in grave danger too. So I'm thinking of gathering together some of our...
I'll head back to the curatorium and meet up with the boss.
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be getting on with. Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers have likely begun their own operations too. I'll hold the fort for now, then discuss our next move with Flints, Ino, and Anefa when they get back.
All right then.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything, we'll be on our way.
We'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as we can.
Relax. Just do your thing. I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Stay safe, everyone. Dismissed.
We're back. Did we get here?
A tad late. The others have already set off. To summarize, our resident moon god... Everything going smoothly on your end?
Not great. I don't know how long we can stall them for. The decoys are getting taken out I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right! Inefa, could you fill in Uncle Varka on what we just did?
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt, but according to Flintz's intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in Nodcry that was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least.
Flins, with everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across Nodcry are I know, I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something far more effective than decoys. But for now, you should stay here and get some rest. And Effa and I will head back over to Amsfartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal is a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Aino's predictions
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel.
It's the obvious choice, isn't it? That's hardly worth betting on.
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsfartnir on her own. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment. Well, I appreciate it, everyone. See you when you get back.
Here, this will serve as a good spot to cross over.
Arlecchino, hold up a second! Since you brought us all this, we still haven't got the slightest idea what's going on here. And if even Columbina doesn't know where the—
Simple. Because I am an inheritor of the royal bloodline of the Crimson Moon. And one—
Huh? Are you serious? As in, you're a descendant? Ancient Khan?
Your surprise is understandable. I was also taken aback when I first learned of it, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized the signs had been there all along. When I was young, I discovered I could wield a very special kind of fire. It coursed like blood through— What's more, whenever I experienced strong bursts of emotion or drew too deeply on this power, it was like some kind of presence within the fire would begin to gnaw away at me. Exactly. That is why my hands are like this, too. At first, I saw it only as a curse, but once I became a harbinger, the Jester apprised me of the truth. Together with my own investigations, over the past few years, there are several things. For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its lifespan. Since this blood flame was bestowed upon me by the Crimson Moon, it is a fusion of the iridescent moon's former power and the corruption of the abyss. You all understand the nature of the abyss well enough. I draw upon its power, and in return, it hungers for my soul. This strange blackness is the mark of corruption it has left behind.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a completely different—
Yes. And that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug of war. Anyway, the rest of my story can wait. Is there anything else about the Crimson—
Paimon has a question! So, the Crimson Moon that the Carians used to worship was actually the— Does that mean that the Carians were to the Crimson Moon as the Frost Moon Scions are to the Frost Moon?
So much of that history has been lost. We have no way of knowing exactly what they were like. But I would suspect that the Conrians weren't as devout in their moon worship as it might appear. The iridescent moon's remains simply served as their link to the abyss. Later on, perhaps someone discovered a way to make direct contact with the abyss. Or maybe there was some kind of ideological divide. Either way, a dissenting faction staged a coup and drove out the royal heir. Still, even with the dark sun looming high overhead, the Crimson Moon's glow never truly faded. If you—
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar, and when I looked at you, I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my eye. In your flames, I saw its
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research project. Anyway, time is against us here, so if there's any other questions, they'll have to wait. I just want to make sure I've got one thing straight. In her letter, Sandrone mentioned that since you are unable to contain the iridescent moon's marrow yourself...
That's right. For now, it's the only way The iridescent moon is already part of who you are. So with its marrow in your possession, you'll be even more
Deal. Then let's get started.
Get what started?
When I first became a Harbinger, the Jester gave me a book called Paranhari, also known as Leobranto Inamorato. You should be able to buy a copy next time you're in Fontaine. It's a love story set in the Crimson Moon era. But setting aside, in the Crimson Moon era, or so the story goes, there was an orphanage that received...
Beyond the bounds of this world? For real? And what kind of...
The Crimson Moon sages looked beyond this world for beings with powers that surpassed the gods. But fearing, they made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally admitted death. The adults embraced the children who passed the ritual, telling them the book leaves much unsaid. But I suspect that this was their way of...
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that...
There's no fireplace here! Do you see a chimney anywhere? Oh.
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between... Those burned away by such flames leave behind a kind of ghostly afterimage in the world. In the days of Conria, people believed they could be used to bridge the gap between the two... In short, I can open a passage to that space for you. The catch is I'll need to stay on this side to keep the passage open, so I won't be able to come with you. Very well. Then I'll open...
Traveler, spare me a little more moonlight if you would. I mean... Thank you. I feel like I've recovered some of my strength now. It should be enough to move us across...
Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, great mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms, by fire severed, by fire renewed, I offer myself now and beseech your descent. One word of advice, as you're crossing over, no matter what
Got it!
I sense a sinister gloom inside, but also the familiar light of the moon. I feel that I am about to meet an old friend who has changed beyond... I sense your presence and great new test. and rebirth. Wait, why are you? You have crossed over from another world, transcending fate itself. I have no right to.
Hey! Look up at the sky! A red moon! This must be the spot, right? Is that the abyss? It's practically filled the entire place!
What a tragic sight. Fragments of your broken body, seized by the abyss, and hung up.
Careful! There's something spooky about this place. Nope. Paimon's right behind you. Whatever you... By the way, Columbina, didn't you tell us that the iridescent moon had shattered into pieces? The moon up there looks pretty whole to Paimon. How is that possible? Huh? Huh? For real? That's way too high!
No. I'm not sensing anything. It's coming from under the mountain.
Let's see. Ah! There's some kind of weird... Wait, see that? Looks like a mechanism of some...
Full throttle!
Looks like a device from the time of Conria. Maybe people once came here to study the Crimson Moon's domain, and they left this behind. Huh. If we could activate it, we might find some clues. Look at that! Now that the mechanism's running, the shadow in the water... Do you think these mechanisms might be the key to unlocking the secret? Let's try to find more of them!
Thalindis, we'll leave the rest of the research in your hands. We'll be heading back now.
I hope this isn't ruining date night. Ugh. Mind your own business. Just leave me some snacks on the...
Thalindis? Is that Rear's girlfriend? How come we're hearing her voice? Oh, yeah. So,
The abyss has made this space extremely unstable. Maybe that's why some of the things she said and did were preserved here. Like echoes.
Whenever I see this view, it takes me back to a poem from my childhood. Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping on the mountain crest. Mornings, for me, of all people, to be here investigating the mysteries of the Crimson...
Oh, looks like the abyss has messed up this mechanism. We need to find a way to get it working again. Let's see if there are any other devices nearby.
Yeah! Turn it down! Rest from the sky! Rev the engines!
see. So the moon marrow, or rather the power of the 3 moons, if it really does exist, then maybe this madness can finally be put to...
Adventure time!
With the Abyss inhibitors in place, I should be able to access the chamber with the moon marrow. Oh, Revier, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. Ever since that outsider set foot in Conria, if only I could get my hands on that outside.
Reflection is back to normal. Belindus's voice mentioned a chamber with the moon marrow. Do you think maybe it's hidden in the moon's reflection?
It must be. For within it, I sense the fragile aura.
Then there's no time to lose. Let's go!
Merciless.
Looks like we'll have to destroy them if we want to get to the iridescent moon's marrow. That must be the iridescent moon's marrow. Oh, but we'll need to destroy these things before we can reach it.
The iridescent moon's marrow, still burning away like an undying flame. If we can purify the abyssal power within, we should be able to obtain its untainted essence.
And so... Is it you? Huh? Are you talking? At long last, I can see you once more. I'm sorry. I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the fear in my heart. As the moment the moon shattered, my body began to split apart piece by piece. Like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000 blunt blades. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? You look so puzzled. But trust me when I say that everything happens for a reason. What was that all about? Was that the goddess of the iridescent moon? It sounded like she was speaking to a long-lost friend. But none of us have...
Perhaps. She took me for the goddess of the frost moon she once knew. For a fading soul like hers, Our auras must be too similar to tell apart.
But anyway, we've got the iridescent moon's marrow now. That should help you regain your strength, right? Alright. Time to leave this place and meet back up. That's odd. This place looks different than when we came in.
Waning moon. Huh? Oh, lifeless damsel.
Oh. Hurry! The place is collapsing!
It wants to trap us here.
Who's it? The Abyss?
Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy.
Give it back! The crimson moons! My marrow! My heart! Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked! They're back! Now what do we do?
This is where you fall. Witness my rise.
Hey,
What are you waiting for?
Oh, we made it! Was that you, Arlecchino? Did you save us? Wait, your hands!
Oh, this? Don't worry. It's a small price to pay. The Abyss wanted to trap you inside, and I defied its will by bringing you out. No wonder it's a little angry. No. I have paid the price, albeit a small one, and it cannot be undone. My hands have already fused with the Abyss. Purification would simply destroy.
But surely... Oh, we're so sorry.
As much as I'd like to call it a favor, the truth is, I was simply holding up my end of the deal.
Yes, you did your part. And as promised, I will leave the iridescent moon's marrow in your care.
I'll take that as a blessing. Now, Columbina. Feeling stronger?
Hey, Columbina!
I'm fine.
By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned. At least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
It's still not enough. There's no way I can hope to challenge Rayrier like this. Just one more ray of moonlight, if you would. It's okay. I can take...
How about now? Fighting fit?
At the very least, I won't have to stay hidden like... I want to see him gone from Not Cry. The ray here of Solnari and his wild hunt must be...
Well, it's good to have something to aim for. You certainly... When I first met you, you didn't strike me as a ray of moonlight. More like a wisp of fog drifting in from who knows where. But now, you're full of vitality. Just like the Frost Moon, once the brightest of the...
Thank you. Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, but whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you. I do not wish to see you go down.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina.
A new name?
Kutar, the Moon Maiden, Columbina. They're nothing more than code names. They describe who she is and the roles she's played. We often use code names in the House of the Hearth, too. But it's knowing your real name that keeps you grounded. Up till now, you've been... All I'll say is this. Once you've defeated Rerir... All right, that's it from me. I'll get you back safely first, then go meet up with Sandrone.
You're the best!
I appreciate the gesture. It speaks to your good character. Anyway, let's get going.
It was a close call, but we got the iridescent moon's marrow and restored Columbina's strength, and that's all that matters. In other words, mission accomplished. Paimon wonders how everyone else is doing.